What in the French toast is going on with the housing market here in Michigan? Well, it's a great question. And if you're looking at inventory, you're thinking about moving here to Michigan, you might be asking yourself, like, is there just no inventory? And the homes that you are seeing online, they need a little TLC, am I right? Yeah, I agree. So a little TLC could go a long way with a lot of the homes, but don't let that discourage you. There's a lot of moving parts here in the real estate market in Michigan. But if you're going to be moving to Michigan or buying a home in the next 1 to 6 months, then this video is going to unpack exactly what you need to know about the housing market here in Metro Detroit. There's a lot of factors that come into play, so we're unpacking all of them in this video. So we're going to go into a market update so you can see behind the scenes on what's actually happening with the real estate market, what homes are selling for, how many listings are coming to market, how many homes are selling, how many homes are pending, all of that good stuff. I'm going to pull back the curtain. And then we're also going to talk about what constitutes a winning offer. Not every agent knows these secrets. So if you're selecting your agent or reaching out to an agent, make sure you're vetting them just as much as they might be qualifying you as a buyer. In the end of this video, I'm going to share with you a bonus on how to get the most incredible offer accepted the first time around, and even how to push some of the competition out of the way and beeline it right to that seller's inbox and make sure they accept your offer. So stick around because we're getting after all of that right now. Hey, what's going on, you guys? If we're meeting here for the first time, my name is Eric Meldrum. I make videos just like this about all things Metro Detroit. We talk about what it's like to live here, work here, play here, and yes, the sunshine and the snow and everything in between. I'm also a licensed real estate professional, and I've helped hundreds of people just like you buy, sell, relocate, and invest here in the Metro Detroit market. And the team and I love doing just that. So whether you're making a move in 1 month or 1 year from now, do not hesitate to get a hold of us. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or even my favorite, schedule a Zoom call using the Calendly link down below, and we can hop on Zoom, take you through the city in our eyes, understand what lifestyle you're going for, and match you up with the best possible location for that. So if this information is helpful, go ahead and subscribe and tap that little bell so you're the first to learn about the current market right here in Metro Detroit, and every time we drop a new video just like this. All right, so I was just kidding before. All the homes are not gone in Metro Detroit. There's still a lot of inventory out there, but there's a lot that's going on in the market that we really need to take a step back and really understand. So, when we look at the landscape of the real estate market here in Metro Detroit, everybody thinks that, Michigan is a state that has really affordable housing. Everything is available. And here in Metro Detroit, we've got a lot of different things that are driving the housing market, and near homing is definitely one of those. So if you're not familiar with near homing, we're a Midwest state. People grew up here, then they moved to New York, California, Chicago, Florida, a lot of the major cities that young folks like me like to have great ambitions for and say, man, mom and dad, I'm leaving. I'm going to go start my own life over here. And that's all great. Like I've had a lot of friends that did that. And ultimately, there's something about the Midwest and specifically Michigan that draws people back. Once you start getting a little bit older and you start having kids, you want to be near your family. So if you have brothers and sisters and they have kids as well, people are coming back home, planting roots down where they grew up, which is not uncommon. But that's one factor. And then the booming economy here in Michigan is also contributing to this. Not only do we have the automotive industry, we have things going on in healthcare. We have a lot of things going on in software development. We have a lot of things going on in the tech industry as Detroit has become a bridge between Silicon Valley. Ann Arbor is also right in the mix there. I would say Ann Arbor and Detroit, two big tech centers here in the Metro Detroit market. So there's a lot of things going on that are pulling high-paying jobs into Michigan. So the housing market is getting tight. So the builders are not building as much as they used to, and houses are going for over asking. So just to give you guys a little bit behind the scenes, I wanted to pull up the MLS here. This is something I review with all of our clients from time to time, and I'm going to do it here live with you guys. So if you do have questions, just make sure you drop those down below. I'd be happy to answer those. I answer all those personally. Want to get those questions answered for you. Again, want to be the best resource for you when making that move here to Michigan. So, the point of me pulling up these stats here that I have in the MLS is to actually show you like what we're hearing on the news and what you hear from friends and family who aren't even in the industry and they're not even buying houses. They're just hearing what they hear on the street. So let's get into these numbers, guys. So what we're looking at here is the 4 major counties that make up Metro Detroit. We got Washtenaw, Livingston County, Oakland County, and Wayne County. So we include Wayne County because we want to get a good representation of Metro Detroit. Here on the sales price, we're looking at a three-year picture. with a 3-month moving average. And all of these numbers are up, in terms of appreciation. In the last 3 months, we're starting to see appreciation anywhere from 1.5% up to 2.5%. Or even close to 3 in Washtenaw County. So on average, these are going up, and we see the average price point. If you look at this in a 12-month period, like this is crazy. I started to think, like, are we going to pull back from price increases and multiple offers coming into 2023? Everybody was very in line with the idea that we were not going to have multiple offers due to the interest rates, due to the high interest rates that we're experiencing. And right now they're sitting right around anywhere from 6 to 7%. There's some dips that go into the 5s. If you can get locked in a 5 in this period, if you have a dip and you can go to your lender and get locked in, definitely do that. I highly recommend it. But in a 12-month period, we've seen Washtenaw County go up 9.3%, Livingston County 3.6%, Oakland County 4.8%, and Wayne County 2.3%. Sales prices are going up. That is opposite of what we thought was going to happen. And now we have new listings. Okay, so this is the biggest problem right now, is new listings coming to market. What's driving this compression in the market, guys, is essentially anybody that refinanced or bought a home in the last couple years when we had interest rates in the 2s and 3s, they're not going anywhere. Those houses are never going to become available. Even somebody that had buyer's remorse and wanted to, just buy a different house, that happens from time to time. That drives a lot of sales. Like, hey, I didn't like this house, I want to go buy another one. Those people are not going anywhere. So we're not going to see that inventory come to market. When we look at the new listings coming to market, Washtenaw County is down 17%, Livingston County is down 22%, Oakland County is down 19%, Wayne County is even down 8.5%, from new listings. Homes for sale at this point right now, there's still some inventory on the market. Remember, back in 2022 at this time, we were still in a very competitive market. We were in multiple offer situations again. So it's really hard to compare the numbers, going back to 2022, but this is the data that we have. So, looking at the houses for sale right now, we're up just over 8.5% for Washtenaw County. Livingston County has 20% more homes than it did last year, which is over a 5 to 10 year period. It's still down. It's still a low number compared to what we need it to be to have a good cycle. Okay, so we'll look at days on market here in a minute. Oakland County is relatively flat, and then Wayne County, we have about 6.6% more inventory. We go over this with our clients, and we're going to walk you through how to navigate this market. This is not a science. This is an art. Okay, we're going to go through all the subtleties, the soft skills that we need, the things that you need to know about, the things that are going to set you up for success. All right, so now that we got a good pulse on what's happening in the market, let's talk about how to get those offers accepted. This is my favorite topic to talk about. This is where my skill set really shines, working through these offers and really understanding what the seller's needs are, how to beat out the competition. Like, I'm competitive, but make no mistake about it. I want to win. I want to see you win in this market, but nothing makes me more happy than seeing an offer get accepted because we thought outside of the box. We stepped up to it and made the best offer that was irresistible for the seller to say no to. So let's get into this, guys. These are some things that I am just telling you right now. Not every agent knows about all of these, and they don't necessarily even understand how to put these into an offer. I've had listings where agents that have been in the business 30 years, I kid you not, 30 years, have written the offer, and I looked at it and said, did you even know you were in a multiple offer situation? Well, yeah, we did know we were in a multiple offer situation. We put a great offer in front of the sellers, and I had to reiterate back that we appreciate your offer, but this is not going to cut it. All right, here's what's actually happening. So I'm going to walk you guys through this stuff. I'm going to make sure you guys understand all of these metrics, and by no means is this legal advice. If your agent doesn't understand this, or they haven't brought this to your attention because we're in a multiple offer situation and the market's hot, then I would argue you should have the conversation with your agent, have the conversation together with you and your spouse. Are we getting the best representation? I'll leave that in your hands, but you know how to get a hold of me. Little hint, description down below. All right, so as we're going through these, if you guys do have questions about these, drop it in the comments below. If you have a question, likely somebody else is gonna have a question, and it helps everybody understand how to win in this market. So make sure you drop those comments below. Again, I answer all those personally. Love to do it. So let's get into this, guys. All right, so the very first point, and this may be an obvious one, but we do not take this lightly. Anytime we're up against a multiple offer situation, or we feel that the house is going to be a big attraction for a lot of buyers in the market, we're gauging from the showings on how many showings are in front of us, how many showings have they had on the home, do they have an open house plan for the weekend, and we're sizing up the competition. We're trying to understand what the appetite for the market is with that particular home. Now, not every home is getting 20 showings the first hour it's on the market. This may be a slow trickle, but we're also doing the reconnaissance work to understand, is it a popular home? Is it in a very highly desirable neighborhood? Is it in a great school system? All those things are going to play into it, and we're going to get leading indicators to see, yes, this home is going to be very hot. We need to get in, see it, and make a quick decision. All right, so now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to call the listing agent, okay? The reason we're going to call the listing agent is we want to find out what the seller's needs are. Okay, going into an offer blind is not going to help anybody. Okay, so we're going to call the listing agent and understand what the seller's needs are. Do they need occupancy? Is that important to them? Can they close quickly on the home if that's a desirable offer that we're going to put together for them? All of these things that are coming, on the seller side, we need to know, because ultimately the sellers are in control. It's not always the highest price that wins. Sometimes it might be a lot of other factors that give the seller a lot of leniency, give them peace of mind, and ultimately make them feel really good about who they selected, that they're going to work with them during the entire transaction, and that's going to be a very enjoyable transaction to work through. All right, so number 2 is always know what you're up against. Now, I never pretend to know exactly what a listing agent's thinking or how they're going to operate based on how I've worked with them before. One of the questions I always ask towards the end of the phone call, understanding what the seller's needs are, is you're going to ask 2 main questions, which is, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Listing Agent, if we were to get into a multiple offer situation, how are you and the sellers prepared to handle that? Have you had that discussion with them? Okay, if they have, and they know, and they're suspecting that they're going to get a lot of offers on the house, they may already have a plan that says, well, we're going to collect all offers up until 12 o'clock on Monday and review them at 1 o'clock and then go through them and make our selection. That's what they call highest and best, or offers due by a certain time. So that's a deadline offer. Now, the second thing, if they're not prepared to do that and you have an opportunity, I always like to ask this question, Mr. and Mrs. Listing Agent, if we were to put a unrefusable offer in front of you that is just knocks your seller's socks off and gives them everything they want and more, would you accept that today? Could we move the competition out of the way, right? And you'll get a sense from the listing agent of like, well, yeah, they might be interested in that, or hey, give us what you got, and we'll go from there. So I always like to know that, because you could sit around and wait, or you can be aggressive and get in there and push out the competition. All right, so the third point you need to know for writing a winning offer is what an appraisal guarantee is and how to leverage this to the best of your ability. So you might have heard the term before. An appraisal guarantee is ultimately guaranteeing that what you offer the seller is going to be the final sales price. Now, Eric, how can this be if we have to get an appraisal, and what if it comes in short? Well, here's the key about the appraisal guarantee is you're already communicating this up front of how the appraisal shortage is going to be handled. And that's the beauty of the appraisal guarantee. Everybody that's getting a mortgage on a home is going to get an appraisal. If that appraisal comes in, and let's say the house is listed for $500,000, and because it's a multiple offer situation, you had to go above and beyond, and let's say the final purchase price was $525,000 that you and the seller agreed to. That was the highest offer. Now, there is this risk between what the home was listed for and the offer price that it may appraise for less than $525,000. What if it comes in and appraises for $500,000? Well, the appraisal guarantee essentially says, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I am going to guarantee your purchase price up to X number of dollars. Now, you can do a full amount up to $525,000, or you could do any denomination. It could be 5, 10, 15, 20, but just know those are going to be things that sellers look at as a risk. So if you have a full appraisal guarantee, that gives the seller a lot more peace of mind. So you're covering that difference between $500,000 and $525,000 should there be an appraisal shortfall. Now, if there is an appraisal shortfall, and let's say the appraisal does come in at $500,000, then you as the buyer need to bring an additional $25,000 to the closing table. That's in addition to your closing cost, in addition to your down payment. If your lender is smart, they'll be working with you to adjust some of those things. So if you were doing a 20% and maybe you want to free up some cash, you could slide that over to a 10% or a 15% down, still knock out some of that PMI in a very short amount of time, go back and get rid of that. So there's tons of things to do, but appraisal guarantee ultimately gives the seller a peace of mind that they're going to close for the highest and best price possible on their home. All right, so the fourth thing you need to know about getting your offer accepted is how to utilize an escalation clause. Now, the escalation clause is something that can be very, very beneficial to you as the buyer and ultimately get you the highest price, but not leave money on the table, okay? So the escalation clause essentially says, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we are willing to put in an offer at your asking price. We're willing to go $50,000 higher than this. Any other competing offer in the amount of $2,500 or $5,000, again, the numbers don't really matter. It's just an increment over the other competing offer. So you're basically saying, I will beat the other offer by X number of dollars up to our max. Okay, so let's use the $500,000 example, and you put an escalation clause in to go up to $550 in increments of $2,500. Okay, so you can use this in combination with the appraisal guarantee. You can use this in combination with a lot of things in there, but the escalation clause allows you to put a very aggressive offer in place and not leave money on the table. All right, so the next thing you want to have in your tool belt for writing and winning an offer is really understanding the inspection clauses. Now, I am never going to, and let me just hard stop here, because I am never going to tell any of my clients, you guys, or anybody who's buying a home to waive an inspection. That is a decision you need to make on your own. But for everybody else who doesn't swing a hammer or have tools to fix things and know how much it's going to cost to do it, do not waive an inspection. It's crazy talk. A lot of people are out there doing it, but ultimately you're going to get yourselves in trouble. Here is something else that I put in offers if we want to get them looked at and accepted with that same verbiage or same look and feel of waiving the inspection. We can still do that, right? It's just language and ultimately the art, right? This is why I love, writing offers and negotiating offers, because it's all optics to the seller, right? How do we perceive this to the seller to give them peace of mind that, hey, we're not going to come in and nickel and dime you on the inspection. We're going to have the inspection, and what you can write in your contracts or your offer, so you could tell the seller, we're going to have an inspection, but anything we find in it is not going to stop us from buying the house unless it's absolutely major. So that's one way to just communicate to them, we're getting this for informational purposes only. We want to have the inspection because we want to repair things that need attention on the home. Unless it's something that's a showstopper for us, we're going to continue moving forward. Now, another way you can position that to a seller is writing in a denomination that you will not ask for any credits or repairs over a certain dollar amount. So they know with certainty that even if something does come up in the inspection, they're not going to get taken for a ride for tens of twenties and thousands of dollars to reduce the price. So we like to write that in and just give a max of, hey, we'll not ask for any credits or repairs up to $3,000 or $2,500 or $1,000. Doesn't matter about the numbers, but you can set that threshold and give the seller some peace of mind that you're going to have the inspection, but you're not going to rake them over the coals when it comes to it. Definitely on the inspection clauses, we can position that to give seller peace of mind. That's the goal. All right, so the next thing that's in winning offers right now is quick closes, right? So you heard cash is king. Well, we got some great lenders here that can close loans very quickly. So if you are conventional and you do need to compete with cash for a lot of these offers, just know this is just as good as cash. We can close loans, and I'm not just saying we, my whole entire team, right? The lenders that we use, we make sure that they're vetted. We make sure that, lending partners that we're introducing you to can do the things that we're talking about here, because it's a very aggressive market and we've been working with them for a long time and we got a great relationship with them. So closing a loan quickly, a 2-week close, now you're competing with cash, right? So if you combine all this together and you say, okay, well, we got a cash offer, for X number of dollars and yours is conventional, but it's got a quick close on it. And also you have an appraisal guarantee, which is just as good as cash, and you're guaranteeing that they're going to close for that amount. Now we're talking. I mean, we're in competition with cash offers. The only thing they have to worry about is an inspection, right? And at that point, the cash offer could have an inspection and so could you. So we're just really splitting hairs, and ultimately is going to come down to a couple soft things that the listing agent is going to help communicate back to the sellers, which is which one of these clients is going to be great to work with? Who wants this house the most? And how have they communicated up until this point? So the last thing that's in winning offers is occupancy. That phone call we made in the very beginning to understand what the seller's needs were. We're understanding, do they need occupancy? And it's not absurd. It's very actually common to give the seller free occupancy right now. Free occupancy is going to go a long way, being flexible, making sure that they have, time to find their next home, because it is a competitive market. They're going to be in your shoes just as much as, you want to be aggressive and get the house under contract. We got to understand that the sellers are selling their home, could be moving on to a new one where they're going to be in the same boat, right? They're going to be up against multiple offer situations, so they need the top dollar for their home, and they need the flexibility to go find a new one if they haven't already secured one. All right, so the bonus tip here, guys, we talked a lot about how to get the offer accepted, how to position the offer for the mechanics, the appraisal guarantee, the inspection, the quick close, the occupancy, the escalation clause. All these things are going to come into play, during a multiple offer situation, during an aggressive market like this. Now, making the phone call up front is definitely going to help us position this the best. But one very important tip and secret that we hold on our team is how we present our offers. Okay, now I'm sharing this with the public because I want you guys to understand that not all agents are created equal. It takes a lot of communication, a lot of things to know what's going on in the market, who the agents are that we're working with, and ultimately how to present offers to get them accepted. And this is the bonus tip for you guys. And I'm sharing this with you because I want you to win. I want you to win in this market, and we want to help you do that. So, our bonus tip is when we present offers, we're going through a checklist. Okay. We have done the initial contact for the seller. We're understanding what their needs are. We're understanding how to position our offer based on what the activity is around the listing. Are they doing highest and best, or can we come in and having a very aggressive offer that's going to get the seller to make a decision very quickly? Ultimately, we're rounding that package out, putting the offer together, and then we're going to present that to the listing agent through video. Okay, so you guys know us, we love video. So we are going to record a video to the listing agent that looks something like this. Hey, Mr. Listing Agent, this is Eric with eXp Realty. Thanks so much for allowing us to show the home. Clients absolutely loved it. They really enjoyed the warm feeling they got in the home. They can see themselves living there. And we put together this offer for you. Here's the highlights. You're coming in at $550,000. We do have an escalation up to $550,000 max in increments of $2,500. And we're going to put in a full appraisal guarantee together for you so the seller has peace of mind. We've also put together some language around the inspection to give them more peace of mind that we're not going to come in and ask for any credits or repairs. Now, we hope this offer is acceptable to your clients. We hope it beats out any other client or any other offers that you have in place, and we look forward to working with you. Our goal from day one is to get this offer accepted and see you at the closing table and make you look like a rock star to your sellers. That's a little bit of a highlight of how we record the video and put that in place, because ultimately the listing agent is the only person that is going to go to bat for the agents who are communicating with them. Right? When the sellers ask, hey, well, all these offers look great, some of them look very much the same, who should we go with? And when it comes down to the wire like that, who do you think they're going to go with? The agent that just blindly submitted the offer and didn't really ask what the sellers needed, or the agent that took the time to understand what the seller's needs were, communicated effectively and efficiently, and gave them exactly what they wanted? I'm voting for this guy, and we have successfully gotten offers accepted every single day just for that very reason. And we look forward to helping you guys. So hopefully this was helpful. The market here in Metro Detroit, again, it's on fire. There's a lot of things happening. So I'm not saying this to discourage you. We have got the winning recipe to make your offer stand out, get it accepted, and we want to help you do just that. So guys, a lot of other videos on this channel, go check them out. And remember, if you're making that move here to Michigan in 1 month or 1 year from now, we want to help you do just that. We want to be a great resource for you. So go ahead and subscribe, tap that little bell so you're the first to learn about the current market right here in Metro Detroit. And every time we put out a new video just like this. All right, guys, so that's a wrap. And we look forward to catching you on the next one. Peace.